Welcome to the Zadzooks Happy Hour, a podcast exploring the latest in film, TV, games, toys, and more. And now, somewhere in a secret bunker outside of Washington, D.C., here are your hosts, 30-year veteran of pop culture and entertainment news for the Washington Times, Joseph Zadkowski, and pop culture, technology, and space aficionado, Todd Stowell.
Speaking of annoying,
The
Walking Dead's back.
Yeah, the marketing says, watch Rick's final episode. But
he gets six, right?
I think it's 6 episodes and that's it. So that takes him to the break?
Yeah. Is Maggie gone too?
I don't know.
Okay.
You can just tell how not interested I am.
I know. My wife finally gave up too.
Did she?
Yeah. Carl pretty much killed her. Yeah. When they knocked Carl out, she was, done completely.
Do you think that Andrew Lincoln is leaving because of that?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he's just tired of doing it. What season is this? 7?
9.
Oh, 9? Yeah, I don't know. But I'd like to personally thank, once again, Scott Gimple for ruining one of my favorite shows. Excellent job, pal.
And he's not there anymore. So there's
they promoted him. You did such a great job destroying this show. We're going to give you another one.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that we didn't have anything to do with Walking Dead a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now. But instead, we took a trip to Landover, Maryland.
Upper Marlboro. Six Flag America, Fright Fest, 10th season.
Brought to you by Snickers,
which you're reminded of all the time.
Yep.
So it was a sort of an odd preview. I think that's how I would best describe it.
Yep, I would say so.
They gave us a taste of what was going to be happening starting, I think it was last weekend, but it's up through October 28th, I believe.
Yeah, I would say that unusual is a good term for it. It started out really interesting because you went in and immediately they had the scare actors with chainsaws.
And,
doing the scary stuff, which was pretty good. And I think they got a rile out of the people who were there for the preview.
Right.
We were then led to a stunt show where we saw about 35 seconds of stunt work, which I was ready for more.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was pretty good, but it was more of a Q&A.
Yeah.
Which I also thought was pretty interesting how these guys are, pretty much having to train nonstop for this, and that you can definitely get punched, kicked.
Right.
You can fall funny and then you got to keep going. So
yeah,
it's nice to hear from stunt people doing that. We had dinner.
Okay, get to the point. So there was the two interesting things were there was a musical show called Scared 2 After Dark.
Right. And there's 2 versions of it. There's the sort of during the day 12 to 5 PG version, and then the After Dark version, which is rated R.
Right. And it was rated R primarily because
it was a language. They were dropping
F-bombs like they were 7th graders and just discovered the word. It was very kind of weird.
A lot of because there really wasn't anything. There was nothing risque about it. I think it was just all the language.
Yes, I'm calling it an adult paranormal version of Rock of Ages because they pulled a bunch of popular songs, and had the actors sing them in odd situations.
How I will say that the singing was fantastic.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it was very good. I mean, you were treated, what was it, a 50-minute show about that?
Yeah, it felt like an hour and a half, but it was about a 50-minute.
You were basically given a Broadway show. I mean, some of those people were from Broadway and the writer was from Broadway.
Yeah.
And the singing was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it wasn't scary. I mean, it was
not scary. It was a trio of individuals called the Ghost Patrol show up to get stuck in the forest and end up at a voodoo house.
They didn't have a dog named Scooby-Doo.
They did not have a dog. That would have helped. Probably couldn't get the licensing.
Probably not.
And
and things, and they have to appease the
voodoo queen,
and the guy in the portrait, which I cannot remember his name.
Well, it was Madame Laveau,
right? And they have to write X's on furniture, take a hit of something with that, like breathe in some smoke, and then that made them do something that they wouldn't normally do.
Right.
It was like truth serum, and there you go.
Please don't give away the surprise ending. Okay. And then what I wanted to see the whole night, we got to see, which was a new haunted maze called
brand spanking new.
Total Damnation, and it's done by the first time haunted maze designer Jeremy Fox, who's at the at Six Flags, and really nice guy, and
started out painting or spraying shirts, as like a contractor. Yep, and sort of worked his way through. Does not do makeup, which is pretty cool. He does
masks,
Hollywood grade silicone masks.
Yeah,
and they looked pretty awesome.
Yep.
What did he say? I think he had 12 scare actors in the maze.
That's right.
At all times, which I thought was pretty good. It's
about a 3-minute maze. It takes you to a different group of rooms. Each room has its own little horror in it.
Mm-hmm.
Victorian Asylum, Gates of Hell. The creatures I remember, there was this large horned demon, and there was this gigantic executioner who was hanging out.
There was one that we didn't see, but we saw the mask, which was like a really angry pumpkin.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Which I mean, maybe it wasn't used for the show, but it was in the props area where we were, cool. And it looked amazing.
But that's all we can tell you right now.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go because there's 6 haunted mazes, 4 scare zones, 5 rides open, and 5 live shows, including the stunt spectacular and some sort of burlesque dance. I'll leave it at that.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And we actually did a quick interview with Mr. Fox. So let's play that now and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Okay. I am here with Jeremy Fox at Six Flags for Fright Fest. And he has a really cool house he wants to tell us about. And actually, I think he had something to do with it too.
Thank you.
So tell me, what's new? And tell me about this house a little bit.
What I wanted to do with this house, this is the first build, so kind of everything that I was afraid of growing up came into this hodgepodge collection of scary things. But it's really the scares in the details. And we have a speedy transition from room to room, so we really have to. I really worked on theming.
Sure. Example.
We've got industrial-like walls coming into a haunted house, like old abandoned asylum-looking haunted house. So, and then back into a room that could be like the Gates of Hell. So it happens very quickly, but it's called Total Damnation. So it's basically your worst fears. And
how long is the maze, roughly?
What we did, the maze is roughly 3 minutes long, but you will not see everything your first time through, and that's what I can say with that.
So you want them to come back for more?
Yes, definitely want you to come back for more.
How many scare actors?
We have 12 scare actors.
12 scare actors?
Yep.
You do the makeup, or they have a makeup artist, or?
We designed all of our own masks, or I designed all of the masks.
Wow.
So they're all custom from start to finish. We really don't need any makeup. They're all pretty much just ready to rock. They use platinum silicone. We movie grade masks.
What's your favorite part?
Being able to see everybody's reaction.
That's what you like? Just watching somebody?
It's been a lot of work, over 1,500 hours in 3.5 months for myself.
And what's your background in this?
I'm just everything art. I've been doing a lot of... I was a leasee here for a little while, doing airbrush t-shirts.
Sure.
And I just kept sharpening my tools and doing concept designs for other companies. And it just happened opportunity happened to where I could kind of flex a little bit and do something creative.
Is this your first haunted maze?
Yes, it is.
That you completely created?
Yes, it won't be the last.
I can't wait.
Cool.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. He was
back.
He was. I really thought it was very cool. It was his first haunted house.
It was pretty cool that we kind of snuck in. We kind of knew where to go, but weren't exactly sure.
Yeah.
And he was standing right there.
I think he was. Well, he was waiting for us.
He was getting ready, but
yeah. And It was the funniest part, which you didn't see, was you're doing the interview and I'm sort of taking photos, and there's the guy up in the guard tower, and he's just like, "Hi, how are you?" But he's been full mask, just waving at me. I'm like, that's weird. So
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to do? You can do Solo. You want to go into Solo?
And you still haven't seen it?
No,
right?
I haven't. It's okay. Just tell me what you're the Star Wars guy.
So
here.
I mean, what the good news is, I'm sorry, but the critics were wrong. It was an okay movie. I mean, was it the best of the best movies? No.
Well, so take episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And compare Solo to any one of those 3. Was it better than all of them?
It was better than all of them.
Then there you go.
I found what they were doing to be fun.
People hated Rogue One.
And look, Ron Howard had a huge problem to deal with. He had to reshoot 70% of the movie from what I heard. And he did. And he did a good job.
And it's not like this is his genre of movie.
Right.
I mean, he just doesn't really do the sci-fi movies.
Didn't he do Apollo 13 or something?
Yeah, but that's based on truth. I mean, this is not so much.
The actor playing Han Solo was not as bad as I thought he was going to be. He actually kind of had the swagger. He's in an impossible situation. He's trying to be, like a 20-year-old Harrison Ford.
Right.
Never going to happen.
No.
The biggest problem with the movie, even watching it in 4K, was they used cinematographer Bradford Young, who is an accomplished cinematographer, but he shot everything with really realistically lit environments. It was dark. The whole movie was dark. Muted colors, and it was just kind of hard to see.
Interesting.
And that stinks because there was a lot of detail going on. I mean, they've got their cantina bar scene that's pretty amazing to watch, and they've got all these great battles with stormtroopers and stuff on top of a magnetized train, and it's like gray out. It's completely gray out, and you just can't really see all the detail. And it's not right because that movie should have looked great.
And you've got a pretty state-of-the-art TV.
Yeah.
So do you think
it should have looked great?
Do you think it would look better in like OLED?
No.
Weird. Was that a bad transfer maybe?
No, other critics have mentioned the same problem.
Interesting.
So I don't feel like it's me at all.
Interesting.
And it would have been so much better.
But the question is was it like that in theaters?
Yeah, I don't know. I would assume because the cinematographer's choices were the same in the theatrical cut. It wasn't like there was something different that happened.
Yeah.
I think it would be better. Do we need to go into detail on what it's about, or do we care?
You do you, man. It's, as I said, you're the Star Wars guy. It's the story of how Han Solo came to be Han Solo, and he did the Kessel Run, right?
And how he meets Chewbacca, which is great. It's really fun, but that's another scene that should look better. I mean, he's fighting Chewbacca in a underground prison area in mud. So it's a mud fight. So it's all dark again because they're fighting in mud. So the other thing that was really great for a Star Wars fan that's worth mentioning is, so if you haven't seen the movie, that's too bad. Spoiler alert. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Darth Maul appears at the end of the movie. It's the same actor who played Darth Maul. He's a little bigger around the face because he's 20. It's just like 20 years since that.
Yep.
So he's got the mechanical legs, which is very cool. But the first thing made me think was, so he got split in half by Ben Kenobi. I mean, how's the guy go to the bathroom? That's got to be a really not comfortable situation. That's why he's in such a bad mood all the time. So
to go off on a tangent, I was sort of thinking about this today. Did they ever really show how Darth Vader's face became disfigured and he had to use the breathing apparatus?
Yeah.
They do. Like, what movie is that?
Episode 3.
Okay.
You've never seen episode 3?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I've heard they're all terrible.
That's when Kenobi fights Anakin on this volcanic planet called Mustafar, and Anakin loses.
Okay.
And when he loses, it's really gross.
Okay,
like, disgustingly gross.
So the reason that I was asking that is there the possibility that they will do a Darth Vader standalone movie outlining the same thing that they did from the first 3 movies into his death, all the way to his death?
No.
So you don't think Disney will try to recover 1, 2, and 3 and do them properly?
No, that would be crazy. I can't see them wasting the money on that.
But I think that they could do a Chewbacca movie.
They easily.
But it would be really hard because there's like no subtitles for anything. And you said they're doing
They'd be much smarter to do a Ben Kenobi movie.
Well, yeah, and a Yoda movie too, right? Haven't they talked about that?
I don't know. They're doing a live action series.
Yeah, Jon Favreau.
And it's finally called Mandalorian. So it's based on the humans that like Boba Fett and Jango Fett.
Yep.
And there was a first screenshot of that, so that was kind of cool looking.
What's it broadcasting on? Is it on Disney's On Demand thing?
It's on Disney's On Demand thing. You gotta pay for it. Right. Anyway, I liked Solo. Good. I didn't love Solo, but it was okay.
Okay, so let's compare it to the other standalone, Rogue One.
Rogue One was infinitely better because the stakes were higher. I mean, there was a lot happening in that movie.
Is there any? So, what'd you think of Woody Harrelson in Solo?
Perfectly functional. Good. He was good. His end, what happens in the end is great.
Good.
It's exactly what you would expect out of a Han Solo film.
So you don't think that all the rumors are gonna come around about how all the cast from Rogue One and the people who died in Solo are gonna be back in other movies?
Oh my goodness. I hope not. That'd be crazy.
That frustrates me so much to see that. It's like, let the people in Rogue One.
There's so many other plots they could tell in movies. They don't need to do that.
They can also just keep going. They can just do episode 10, 11, 12. They can just keep going.
That's right.
There's no reason they can't.
That's right.
I mean, these guys are probably done after the episode 9, whenever that's out next year, right?
Next year.
Right. And then that's it.
Yeah.
For now.
But yeah, I would expect the live action spin-offs to continue. Maybe not as ferociously, but they will continue.
Well, and Ewan McGregor has already said he wants to return in a bad way. So he's on board.
That'd be crazy not to make that film, because that's one of those what people would want to know what happened.
And also look at his career over the past 20 years, and he's only become that much finer of an actor.
Yeah.
So it would be
a good standalone.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That's all I got.
So we're going to come back, and I'm going to crap on a brand new Netflix movie that just came out for a brief moment, and then we'll do the box office and we'll wrap it up.
Thank you. Communities Digital News, built by the writers and editors that deliver the news 24 hours a day. Visit comdiginews.com. That's COMMDIGI news.com. And support the next evolution in news.
All right, so you don't have to look at me when I'm doing this, because I'm just going to kind of read off of a screen. But you had something
you're going to read off a screen. Okay.
You had something you want to talk about with
I didn't mention the extras on Solo, so I'm doing it really quickly. There's 8 deleted scenes, and there's a scene that shows Imperial Cadet Solo trying to fly a TIE fighter and then getting summarily dismissed because he screws up, which is pretty darn cool to see him in an Imperial outfit. Sorry, I'm excited by that. There's actually a snowball fight between Han and Chewie, which would have been worth keeping in the movie. Anyway, and there's actually a sit-down with the cast, with Mr. Howard interviewing some of the crew at a round table. It's like 21 minutes, and it's very fun. So you should definitely, the extras are good enough to make that, if you're a Han Solo fan, buy the disc. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to talk about Hold the Dark, which is a film that it's a Netflix film. It just came out. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes on it. It's got a 67% tomato meter.
That's pretty good, right?
And 80% of the audience liked it. Well, I guess I'm one of the 20% that didn't, because I don't understand what the hell this movie was about.
Wow, 80% like.
Yeah, it's insane. So this guy played by Jeffrey Wright, his name was Russell Core. He's a naturalist and a wolf expert. And he receives a letter from this mother, played by Riley Keough, who says her son was killed by a pack of wolves. So this Russell Core goes out. He tries to help her track down the wolves who took her son. And then he finds a pack of wolves. It's not them. He goes back. And
are they werewolves?
No, they're just wolves. He goes back, and she's gone. And he finds the dead son in the house in a freezer.
Is it a creepy mansion?
No. It's like in Alaska, in like one of these towns that is basically run by natives. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. So then True Blood's Alexander Skarsgård, who is the father, well, he's been in Iraq, fighting the Taliban, and is sort of crazy there because he catches some army guy doing inappropriate things with an Iraqi woman, and he stabs the guy to death and then leaves her the knife so that she can finish the job. And then he comes back home, finds his son is dead, and then comes on this like vengeful like tirade of going to kill a bunch of people because he's got to find her, and eventually he finds her. But meanwhile,
and she controls the wolves.
No. Meanwhile,
so what happened to the wolves?
Nothing. The wolves don't have anything to do with it. Jeffrey Wright is like constantly in like wrong place, wrong time. He shows up at this place where they meet up with Skarsgård's friend, and he opens up like a semi-automatic and shoots all the cops that are there except for the chief of police and Russell Core, Wright's character. Okay? So then all of a sudden, they're trying to find Skarsgård because he's clearly off his rocker because his kid's dead. And they know where he's going, and they go to find him, and Skarsgård kills the chief of police with a bow and arrow and shoots Jeffrey Wright's character in the chest. I'm ruining this movie, and I don't care. So, come to find out, all while this is happening, her husband, his name is Vernon. I should say it's not Alexander Skarsgård. It's this character Vernon. Keeps killing people by wearing a wolf mask.
It would have been more interesting if the actual actor had been doing the killing.
Right. It would have.
If he had showed up.
And he finds his wife, and he's got his dead son's body in a coffin, and they both like embrace and they take off into the night. So I don't know what this movie is about. It's like a noir, like an ode to Alaska and the darkness of it all. Like, I don't know, and I am so confused by it that I cannot recommend this movie to anyone because it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's an attempt to be an artistic film with no story.
How long was it?
Long. It was an hour, almost 2 hours, I want to say.
Okay.
And I just kept thinking that, like, there's a supernatural aspect to this. There's got to be something. And I'm looking at the like reviews, even from something like Common Sense Media. Hyper violent, compelling thriller is graphic and brutal.
Okay, well there you go.
Beautiful if grotesque thriller. There's no thriller about it. There just isn't. You know he's like he's out for blood, but you don't know why. And apparently, like, everyone says that they're surrounded by evil. So that's where I kept thinking, like, sweet, supernatural, like, they're going to turn into wolves or something in the end, like an X-Files episode.
Right.
And it didn't happen. So
just watch X-Files is what you're saying.
Yeah, this is not...
Go to season 11.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why this got such decent reviews. I'm baffled. I really am, because there are other places that are just like me that said, I don't know what the deal is with this movie. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So another hit.
Not a hit.
From Netflix.
It's a miss. And this is, to me, the second film with Skarsgård, because the first one was Mute
that he was in, which I had high hopes for as a sequel to Moon, and that was not great. And this isn't either. So I don't know what they're thinking here. They had a good cast, and I guess people liked it, but I didn't get it. And I paid very close attention. I wanted to like this movie, but it just went nowhere. All right.
Well, this will make you happy. Let's go. We don't even need to do box office. Let's just go out on a high note.
All right.
And literally a high note. This is a moment from Curse 2 After Dark, and we say thank you and enjoy this voice because it's a great voice.
Hey!